Sunday.
So this Sunday, gentlemen, if you didn't know, is March 10th. And do you know what March 10th is?
I didn't know. No.
It's Mario Day.
Mario Day.
So
Didn't know it
what
was a thing.
better chance to get to talk about our favorite Mario games than have to do a video for Mario Day?
Absolutely.
So, Keith, what are your top 3? Because I don't want favorite because
Yeah.
that's just probably going to be mostly the same answers. Top 3 Mario
impossible.
games and why?
So for me, it would be Super Mario 2, 3, and then actually Super Mario 64. Super Mario 2 and 3, of course, I played as a kid, loved them, was a lot of fun. You grab the turnips. At the time, I didn't know what it was. I was like, I just pulled this little leafy thing out of the ground, and I'm now throwing it as a projectile. Awesome. And I played the game without even knowing you could do that until one day I accidentally did it. And I was like, amazing. This orb, this white orb. And yeah, it's turnips. But those two, I love this classic from my childhood. I haven't really played them much as an adult, but Super Mario 64, game changer. If that's for everybody, the whole world. If you played it, I mean, that was just defining. Was that when did 64 come out?
Like 97, 96.
96 was launched with the N64.
Really? Okay.
96.
Okay. Yeah. So I didn't play it on launch. I played it like a year or two later, because it was right around 2000, and actually it was 2000. Oh my gosh, I remember. Wow, memory unlocked just now. Wow. I was so young. My parents had picked up my mother picked up Mario 64 for me for Christmas. And I remember when the millennium was becoming 2000,
Mm-hmm.
I was upstairs in my room playing Mario 64.
At least you were going to go out playing a classic.
Darn right, and I did, and they were like, "All right," the people downstairs, 3, 2, 1. I'm just like, whatever. I don't give a And I didn't understand Y2K or any of that nonsense. Just as long as my Super Mario was there. But no, it was just an incredible game. The open world mechanics, just the controls themselves. It was amazing. I got the strategy guide on it. I wanted to do everything in that game. I did do everything in that game. I remember one of the parts that I was just like, whoa, was when you go underwater with the eel.
Oh, it's the worst.
Oh, my God.
Nobody likes water levels on any.
I thought it was super
on
cool.
any game.
I just had so much anxiety. I'd go down, like my breath was running out. And I was like, those little Mario plumber legs.
I hate water levels. I hate them so much.
But yeah. But what about you? Your 3.
So my 3, I'd have to say, are Mario 3, because that's just a game you can play to the end of time.
Mm-hmm.
The secrets, I know them by heart.
Yes.
It's
yes,
just
yes.
I can watch people play that game. I can watch. I can play it myself. It's just an truly endless classic. Mario Odyssey is going to be probably number 2, because that game is a absolute 100% masterpiece.
Okay, all right.
It makes Mario 64 look like a tech demo.
Wow.
Basically, Mario Odyssey just took Mario 64 and just made it infinitely better.
Okay, very
It's
good.
the open world feel.
Okay.
You get the interactions with your cap. You get to put it on like a little Goomba, and you become the Goomba. And you can run around and waddle. You can slap it on a bullet bill, and you can drive around as a bullet bill. Like, just the endless little things in that game are just. I tell everybody, if you have not played that game for some reason, pick it up and play it, because it's so good.
Unless you don't have a Switch.
Buy a Switch just to play that game. Like, everybody has to play that game.
Very good.
It's so good.
All right, number 3.
And then number 3, you would think it would probably be Mario 64.
That's what I would have guessed, 100%. But
It
no.
is not.
All right.
It is Super Mario Wonder. for the Switch. So that is a new release.
Okay.
And that game, I was going in not to really care for it because the newer releases like the Mario U Deluxe or like new Super Mario Brothers or whatever, like I didn't really care for them that much. But Wonder really went the extra mile in making like Mario games like different. The same but different.
Right.
So like they got rid of the timer on the levels, which like is I didn't even notice until I watched somebody talk about it. Like, yeah, they got rid of the timers, and I was like, hold on, wait, what? So they got rid of the time, so you can just navigate the level as much as you want and just roam around. They have these wonder flowers.
Okay.
Where you touch them, and it basically, in the way I can describe it, is it makes you go on a drug trip.
Okay.
It changes like the whole entire world that you're in.
Okay.
So like if you're like some levels you're in, it'll like the pipes will be like inching like like a worm. Or like the piranha plants will be coming out of the pipes and they'll be singing a song.
Oh my god.
And like sometimes like if you're Mario, you'll turn into something. Like you'll turn into like a blob and you have to navigate the
cool.
level and you get a wonder seed. So that's like their stars.
Okay.
Is wonder seeds. So you get these wonder seeds and like there's
So it's an entirely different take.
There's a couple in the level and like the completion parameters for that are so great. It just adds that extra playability to it, like getting the top of the flagpoles, getting the wonder seeds, because there's some levels where you can like go under the goal or go above the goal, and you go continue playing a whole other part of the level. But the way like you interact with things and like the power-ups and stuff, like they made Mario turns into an elephant.
Ridiculous. That's awesome.
And he says, "Wowie zowie, wowie zowie." Dude, it was such like a breath of fresh air into the Mario series, and you get to play as a bunch of different characters too. Like you can play as Yoshi, like just Yoshi.
Yeah.
And like with my 4-year-old, she loves playing Wonder because it's easy enough for her to like understand. Like it's not super hard. And with Yoshis and stuff, you don't die from taking damage.
Oh.
So she can be Yoshi and just run into a Goomba 1,000 times.
That's perfect.
And she never dies and loses
awesome.
a life. She just continues on the level. If she falls into a hole, that's another story.
Right.
But she likes playing it with other people sometimes. She's a sore loser.
Right.
But she can hop, like she can be, Princess Peach. She loves being Princess Peach. She can hop on Yoshi. If I'm playing, she hops on Yoshi, and I can carry her through the entire level.
Perfect.
She doesn't even have to do anything.
Right.
So like, just it's such a good game. Those are my top 3.
Okay. Very fair.
And Mario Wonder, like.
Yeah. So I wouldn't know because, there's all these other, Mario games, and there's so many more. I can't really pick from a top 3 outside of the 3 that I chose because those are the only 3 Mario games I've ever played. Like, I've watched people, aside from, like, 1 or 2 times playing Mario Party.
What?
But, yeah, that's it. And it was so much fun.
What?
But I'm sorry.
Get up. Go. Just stop. Just leave it. Top 3 only.
When you think you know somebody, and you think that this brotherhood could never end, they drop this bomb on you.
It don't bother me.
Andy, I think this seat might be yours permanently from here on out.
Okay. All right. Shots fired.
Keith, you're fired.
I think I'll just take my leave.
Shots fired.
Andy,
all right.
what are your top 3?
So I,
Don't let me down.
have played a lot of Mario games over the years. But to Keith's credit, he's very knowledgeable about Shining Force, and I've never I didn't even hear about that until the day we did it. So
That's forgivable.
Well, maybe. That's for you to decide. I'm not judge, jury, and executioner over here. I just tell them to get out of the chair because I want it. But, um, the plethora of options, I'd have to say Super Mario World is, for the Super Nintendo, is definitely near and dear to my heart. It was kind of the first exposure I had to the Mario franchise because I didn't have a regular Nintendo. We called it regular Nintendo. Now we call it an NES. But sorry. So Super Mario World, I remember that like it was cool because it had two-dimensional graphics, but it introduced things like, climbing across the grids and the fortresses and whatnot.
Yoshi.
And Yoshi, yes, it was the introduction of Yoshi.
For that third pick, like it really was a contender between Mario World and Mario 64 because I love both of those games pretty equally, but Wonder narrowly beat out the World in 64.
Yeah, well, the caveat there is that, even though Super Mario World is in my top 3, it's definitely not like 1 or 2. It's definitely a hard 3 because there's a lot about it that I don't like. That's not really important to discuss, though. It's more me being a child and never truly growing up. But Super Mario 64 was like really my deep dive into Mario. That I spent a lot of time on. I, like Keith, had the strategy guide for it. The big yellow guide with the 2 eyes on the front, with very high aspirations. I don't know if Keith got all the way on that because that was a really hard game to like fully complete.
Yeah. Watching people speed run that game is one of the most insane things that you could ever watch.
It's perplexing. Because like for those of you who have played it and you play it to a degree, I don't remember what level of or what count of stars that you have to achieve to unlock both the basement to the castle or the dungeon, as some call it. But at a certain point, this little golden rabbit appears in the dungeon as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he does nothing but run around the dungeon away from you. I spent probably a month trying to catch that thing. And all it does is give you one more star. But when you're trying to, really fully get through a game, that one star can literally be the make or break.
And it seems like it's such an easy thing to do. It's just like, oh yeah, I can do that.
Oh yeah.
But you're like this close, like running around, and then you like, run into a wall or something. You're just like, and messes up all your momentum, and then you just have to start over again. Yeah.
Yeah, and I really liked how they kind of introduced, like Mario climbing trees and being able to handstand on top of trees and then jump off.
The long jump too, which is one of my favorite things in a Mario game, is just like long jumping as much as I possibly can.
Right.
To like move faster through the levels and stuff. It's just to hear Mario just.
Dude, it's awesome. Like, you can't beat it. That is actually one of 2 games that I have put back into the N64 since the turn of the century.
Yeah.
But I think, my all-time favorite, honestly, is Super Mario Brothers.
The very first one?
The beginning. Because without that beginning, none of this would have even been an idea.
Yeah.
And it's so basic in the sense, like run through, jump on this, don't fall in the hole, go down the green tube. Look at what it has become. Like that one very simple game, which I don't know how exposed to like MS-DOS PC games you are, but there was a game called Clyde. It's basically Mario. So I would be interested to see which one of those came first.
That is... I've never heard of Clyde, so I have zero idea. But, yeah. There's something... like, this definitely isn't my favorite, just because of, I've played this game a ton. It was the very first video game I ever played, period.
Let's be honest. It does suck.
I mean, I wouldn't say it sucks, but it's definitely just like, it's bland. Yeah, we just thought it would be fun to put out something for Mario Day to show our love and appreciation for a franchise that, one, is just has become like its own life form at this point. Like, if you're a kid, if you're an adult, if you're an alien, you know who Mario is. Happy Mario Day, everybody.
Happy Mario Day.
Enjoy. Play some classics, play some new stuff. Just celebrate a franchise that we've all grown up with, we've all come to love. I mean, nothing else needs to be said.
Thank you, Nintendo.
Thank you, Nintendo.